Like a vampire, I don't need to know you. Come with me, I'll show you. You can find me backstage, I'm a party with a Nicolas Cage. Girl, I want the body, you know you got a body like Nicolas Cage. You ain't gotta be scared, you ain't gotta be afraid, baby. It's just you and me alone tonight with Nicolas Cage.
Hey, welcome back to the show. This is Late Night Cage Fight. I'm Cage Fighter Reese. I'm here with Cage Fighter Matt, Cage Fighter Steve, Cage Fighter Sean. We're talking about two Nicolas Cage movies that we love so much, and we just want to talk about them with you. We're talking about Honeymoon in Vegas tonight and Amos and Andrew.
Like a butt.
Yeah. It was a very strange name for a film. But Samuel L. Jackson was in it, so gotta watch it. Well, and Nic Cage. Of course, Nic Cage. You know, we're Late Night Cage Fight. We're a Nicolas Cage podcast. We've watched a lot of Nicolas Cage movies. We're going to watch a lot more. But this is the last episode in our second season. Our next episode is going to be the premiere, and we're going to have a best of the season film. Can you believe it, guys?
I can't.
Last season, the winner was Birdie. Excellent animal nature lover movie. I cannot talk about Birdie enough. Yeah. But today, we're going to talk about Honeymoon in Vegas and Amos and Andrew. Wonderful films. But first, Steve and Sean, why don't you give us some Nic Cage news?
So, some news broke recently on Nicolas Cage's biopic, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. It just came out that it officially is going to be pushed back to 2021.
Oh, more like The Unbearable Weight. Jeez.
Have you guys actually heard the synopsis of this movie?
I did way back in the day, but it may have changed since then.
Because I'm not 100% sure that it's a biopic anymore. It seems like it's almost like a self-aware comedy that just happens to be about Cage. So
starring Cage, right?
Yeah. Well, he's playing himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so facing a considerable amount of debt, the fictionalized Cage accepts a $1 million offer to accept a superfan's birthday, which that superfan, by the way, is
Seth Rogen.
Close.
Just
close.
A guess.
It's the Mandalorian himself, Pedro Pascal.
Oh, dude, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Narcos, bro. Narcos.
Yeah, and Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
He just signed on. Yeah, he's going to be playing a super fan that just happens to be a Mexican cartel member.
Of course.
And then things take a turn for the worse, and Cage must channel his former on-screen characters in order to save himself and his teenage daughter.
That's insane.
I don't know what's more amazing, the synopsis or the fact that Cage agreed to do this. You know, I mean, isn't this in a way, isn't this like confirming that some of his roles were not so great?
It's all come full circle.
It's the circle of life. The Lion King, the Tiger King.
Maybe it's the best thing about him.
Speaking of Nic Cage and fantastic roles, actually today it was announced that in the Amazon adaptation of the Ewan, I don't know how to pronounce this, Ewan Colfer book, High Fire.
Oh.
Nick's going to voice the drunk dragon.
Is this a live action show?
I don't know. This is the first I've heard of it.
Sounds like a cartoon to me.
It's like
yeah, I think it is.
That's what I thought.
Cartoon.
they can't get Sean Connery for Dragonheart 6 or whatever. We got to get
You know
Nic
what?
Cage.
You laugh, but I have seen that movie like at least 100 times.
The first one?
So High Fire is a story set in a world where dragons once ruled the earth. Lord High Fire ruled the dragons. Now, however, all High Fire rules is his shack in a honey island swamp in Louisiana. And he goes by the name Vern and spends his days hanging out among the alligators, watching cable TV,
Getting high.
drinking insane amounts of vodka.
Yeah. God, we got to write a script, fellas. We may be able to pitch it and get it greenlit.
Yeah. And get Nick to star.
And yeah.
Netflix will take anyone.
It's, yeah.
Thank you for calling Netflix where you're greenlit.
There's so much shit on there.
Oh, yeah.
It's awful.
It's almost like they need us.
It could be. Hey, we got word processors. Let's get to it.
I got Apple Pages.
Look, you don't even have to type anymore. You can just use your dictation and talk to your computer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can, I guess, if you want.
I haven't
I
tried
don't know
it.
why you would. That's kind of
Sure.
terrifying.
Is there any more Nic Cage news, fellas?
Actually, I think we're forgetting the most important piece of news that goes back to one of the movies that we've already reviewed.
Oh, yeah?
So,
Valley Girl?
Kate, not quite. It may include a certain, I'll say, Canadian singer? Question mark.
Oh.
We'll say she's Canadian.
Uh-huh.
So Cage's 1987 film Moonstruck is officially being inducted into the Criterion Collection this November with a brand new Blu-ray release.
Oh my gosh.
Unfortunately, there will be no new commentary by Cage, but many of the cast that was involved with the movie will be involved.
Yeah.
No
Wow.
word yet on Vampire's Kiss, but hopefully that will be next.
Oh, that's great news. I did see that headline some time ago. Yeah, congratulations. Just getting into the Criterion Collection has got to be what an achievement. Fantastic. Cher, you should be proud. That's great news. Anything else?
Guys, how have we not watched the Valley Girl remake yet with Logan Paul?
I really don't like Logan Paul.
I don't
So-
either, but
I've read reviews. That's kind of enough.
I've heard it hasn't been great.
Yeah.
I'm really upset that Logan Paul is from the
Alive?
city that's like right. Yes, but also is from the city that's like right next to mine.
I'm also kind of embarrassed to be very close to the city where Logan Paul put dead fish on taxi drivers' cars.
Oh my god, that video pissed me off so much.
Yeah.
That whole I was there. I was there within like a couple days of him being there.
Yeah. That's right. We
Oh.
just missed him. We could have totally changed the timeline.
Yeah.
Man. Wow.
Only.
But anyway, what Logan Paul roles would you like to see Nic Cage improve? Email us at latenightcagefight at gmail.com.
That is valid, right?
No, that's valid.
Probably.
Okay. Just want to make sure before we go into the sponsors. Even though some of these sponsors are real, right? We have some sponsors tonight, fellas.
We do have some sponsors.
Well, tell us about it. I need to know.
So, this episode of Late Night Cage Fight is brought to you by Henny Plus Rue. Keep the chickens happy with a monthly subscription box that's designed exactly for backyard coop keepers. Each box is guaranteed to bring a little bit of foul play, as contents have been specifically curated with the flock in mind. Get an interesting mix of high quality chicken tending supplies like vitamins and treats for the hens,
Yeah.
along with a few practical gift items and some chicken-loving swag in each excellent delivery.
Wow.
We're also brought to you by Capcom vs. C-SPAN, from the makers of Mega Man and the Green New Deal comes the newest fighting game coming to PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch.
Excellent.
There's a Switch release.
I'm pumped.
This release features 64 of your favorite Capcom characters and United States elected officials. Will your favorite congressman make the cut? Pre-order now for the new Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer Black Lives Matter and Joe Biden Antifa.com t-shirt costumes.
Yeah.
Exclusive.
And you get
to
a
Staples.
you get a special protesters DLC armband if you pre-order from Babbage's.
Yes.
And if you use the promo code Late Night Cage Fight, you'll get the Ivanka DLC.
Oh, hot.
We got some hot leaks from the RNC this week. Jeb Bush was officially confirmed to be on the roster.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This game's going to be a hit. I also want to mention we're sponsored by Chinese Seeds as well. So if you receive any of those in the mail, that's us. Well, we're supported by them.
Not to be confused with Steve's Seed.
No,
I was gonna say.
that was a failed venture pretty early on, right?
Yeah.
All right. Is that it for the news and sponsorships and all that good stuff? Are we free to actually have a conversation now, or are we still beholden to the legal mumbo jumbo?
Well, we do have one more sponsor, Bigfoot dating simulator.
One of the more common vocalizations is often described as a high-pitched scream, like a woman being murdered in the woods. Sometimes they're long and drawn out. Sometimes they're short, like this.
Ever want to date a Bigfoot? Now's your chance. Thanks to the brand new visual novel by DigiRabbit. He's got big feet, so he's got to have big. I'll let you figure that out. Now available on itch.io for Windows computing machines.
I heard that one's a dark web hit. So you dark web users, just look it up. You'll find it.
Tor.onion.
Tore the tits out of it.
Yes.
Great.
TOR.
TOR. Yeah. Wow. We are going to get our asses hacked with that. Perfect. I guess you know what that means. What's coming up next, guys? We're talking about Honeymoon in Vegas, and this is the Nick List. Nic Cage won't promise his mom on her deathbed that he'll never get married. The shock of his refusal kills her, and it's hilarious.
Say, I promise.
I promise.
That you'll always love me.
Of course, Mom.
And you'll never get married.
Mom, that's a huge thing to ask. Mom! 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 Come back!
Nic Cage tells his girlfriend he dreams of his mom naked often. Do I really have to finish this movie? That's what I was thinking with that line. Nic Cage somehow gets the best deal on a hotel suite in Vegas. $120 a night for that view in that room is just unbelievable. That's my bargain boy right there. Nic Cage decides to do some gambling at the hotel before getting married. He loses to a notorious card shark to the tune of $65,000. But damn, that Alibaba suite, that was a bargain, am I right? Nic Cage goes to Elvis Con. Nic Cage has just whored out his fiancée to settle a $65,000 debt with Tommy Corman. Now he's alone again. What's a guy gonna do? He keeps gambling. Let's just keep this thing going, yeah? Maybe next I can whore out my dead mom.
You brought me to Las Vegas and you turned me into a whore, Jack!
Let's just forget about this, all right?
Nic Cage, the other thing is he meets Ben Stein at the airport. I remember that. That was kind of funny.
Yeah, it was pretty.
Yeah, that's all I got. Honeymoon in Vegas. So, Steve, that means it's time for your character comparisons.
So, let's see. We have pretty good character sets for Honeymoon in Vegas.
Do we?
We had Nic Cage as Jason Segel.
All right.
Along with his wife, Pretty Woman.
Okay. Are you
and then-
Julia Roberts?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's fucking. It's Sarah Jessica Parker.
Yeah. This is. Don't ask Matt. This is just Steve's mind.
Yeah. Of course, he's indebted to Buddy's dad, Tommy. Buddy the Elf.
Buddy the Elf?
Yeah, from Elf. That's
okay.
That's Buddy's dad.
All
I'm
right.
Jewish, so
Yeah. And along with his handyman, Ron Jeremy.
Okay, yeah.
And the last one I've got here is the escort that helped Nick out while he was down in Hawaii, Mr. Miyagi, the cab driver.
Mr. Miyagi.
Yeah.
I get it because he's small and Asian and has an accent.
No, because he actually played Mr. Miyagi.
I thought
Mahi Mahi? Yeah, that was Mr. Miyagi.
Mr. Miyagi's dead, man.
Yeah, he is now.
Wait, that was actually him?
Yeah, that was actually him.
It didn't look like him.
I know.
That was him. Wow, you kind of blew my mind there.
Yep.
I don't know why I said he's dead. He would still be alive for the movie in the 90s. I mean, he was, you know what it is? I recently watched 3 Ninjas. I started watching it with my kids because I thought, oh, well, this movie's kind of, it's amusing. We'll watch it. It turns out I think it's not really good for kids to watch that at all. But Mr. Miyagi is in it, and he's heavier and older looking.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. You got me with that one, Steve. I totally didn't believe you.
Yeah, I spent a lot of the movie trying to think of who it was that
Pat Morita.
that the gambler, the loan shark, whatever the hell he was, the gambler dude.
Oh yeah,
Tommy, who he reminded me of, and yeah, it finally dawned on me near the end of the movie that was Buddy the Elf's dad, Will Ferrell. Will Ferrell's dad.
Yeah. Let's talk about Honeymoon in Vegas, 1992 comedy film starring James Caan, Nicolas Cage, and Sarah Jessica Parker. Let's see, where do we start? It starts out with Nicolas Cage plays a private eye, Jack Singer. It's obvious. It's kind of like a monologue at the beginning where we learn about his problems with, is it finding love? Or should we just start with the fact that his mom is dying?
because that's why he refuses to get married.
Right.
Because his mom, before she passed, made him promise that he wouldn't get married.
That's right.
Yeah. So for the rest of his life, I don't know what this span of time is exactly, but Nic Cage has this repulsion to the idea of marriage. But he also has this longtime girlfriend, Betsy, played by Sarah Jessica Parker, who desperately wants to get married. She's a teacher, an elementary school teacher. She loves kids. She wants to start a family. And she pretty much has the generic traditional idea of settling down, getting married, having kids, starting a family. And she expects Jack to do that. But she's been dealing with this part of him that's reluctant to get married because of his mom. And they even mention Freud a few times because he says that he has these dreams about his naked mom. It's kind of like a curse preventing him from getting married or even allowing himself to accept the idea. So yeah, he's just, for a long time, he's refused to get married, and finally she convinces him to just do it, man. And what better way to do it than to go to Las Vegas and have a shotgun wedding, as they call it. And that's how this movie opens. A good portion of the film takes place in Bally's Casino Resort. And the day, their wedding day, I guess they're scheduled to get married that evening. And but first, well, we got to mention Tommy Corman, the card shark, played by James Caan. He notices the couple. He sees Nic Cage and Sarah Jessica Parker, and he's just like, whoa, Sarah Jessica Parker looks just like my ex-wife, who was smoking hot and got smoked by the sun. Apparently she liked to sunbathe a little too much and got melanoma and died. And it's kind of weird how that's brought up a couple times in the movie. It's because it's kind of, the first time you hear about it, it's kind of funny. It's supposed to be, you know, like darkly funny. And then when it's brought up later, it's more serious. So it's, I don't know how to feel about that. But anyway, his ex-wife is dead, and Sarah Jessica Parker, her character Betsy, bears a striking resemblance to Tommy Corman's ex-wife. And this guy is, you know, he's like a billionaire, I guess, extremely wealthy. And he is interested in her quite heavily, to the point where he devises this scheme to reel Nicolas Cage into a gambling game, a poker game. And he does it by sending him this letter under the door of their hotel room, their suite, and inviting him to play, I guess, on behalf of the hotel. It was some kind of, he said that it was like an invitation from the hotel to come play. And he agrees to do it. This is their wedding day, mind you. There's Jack and Betsy are supposed to be married that evening, but Jack tells Betsy, just go to the pool and kind of hang out with all the other sexy people who are going to be ogling you in a bikini or whatever. And I'm going to go play a poker game. And he does, and he totally gets suckered into it. And yeah, Tommy Corman beats him by $65,000. And then
No big deal.
yeah, it's you know, and he
Small
says,
sum.
you know, one way you can pay me back is just let me spend the weekend with your fiance, with Betsy. And yeah, I felt like the reaction to that was pretty natural. I mean, I can't imagine being in that situation where you got to pay this money back and you don't quite know who this guy is, but you're quickly getting the sense that this is not somebody you want to mess with. But at the same time, you know, like whoring out your girlfriend or your wife or something like that, that is just such a uncomfortable idea, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just, for most people, some people are into that. That's cool. But if you're not into that, that's rough. That's rough, man.
I remember another movie or TV show, though. I remember that gimmick on another show.
You know, it reminded me of, it's totally not what you're thinking of, but Francis Ford Coppola's Dracula has a similar premise. When Dracula sees, you know, English dude's wife and was like, oh, she looks just like my wife from forever ago. I'm going to go to the city and kill all of her friends and turn them into vampires. Yeah. You know, slightly similar, right?
Yeah.
Well, anyway, yeah, so they don't get married that night. It's pretty safe to say. Jack has to break the news to Betsy. Sorry, honey. You're going to have to spend the weekend with this stranger and hope that he doesn't rape you. And then that's kind of the impression she has. Because there was a conversation that between Tommy and Jack that he wouldn't try to have sex with her. But still, I mean, who knows what can happen, right? and she is totally against the idea. But she loves Jack, and $65,000 is a lot of money that you're not going to get overnight. So they agree to it, and there's this whole just drawn out kind of cat and mouse game where Tommy's kind of pushing the rules in taking her away from Vegas. There's a whole sequence that's in Hawaii, one of his homes, and Jack chases him there, and then it ends up back in Vegas. And throughout the course of this whole thing, she starts to be swayed in favor of Tommy Corman. But that's not without some manipulation by him. And I thought that writing was pretty good, because there was a moment where you start to empathize with Tommy and start to believe him yourself. But then it's revealed that no, he's actually not a good guy at all. And he does not have good intentions. And he's trying to break off the engagement between Betsy and Jack and get her to marry him. And the movie is basically Jack trying to prevent that from happening. So it's cat and mouse, Hawaii back to Vegas. We have this amazing ending. this scene, which, I guess I should just spoil it now if you've made it this far. They're in Vegas, so we got a lot of Elvis impersonators, as we all know. And there's a skydiving team called the Flying Elvises. And this is Jack's only way to get back to the resort where Betsy is, under Tommy's close eye, of course. And he actually skydives in an Elvis suit costume with all of these other Elvis impersonators and lands right there where Betsy is, and she's escaped from Tommy and gone incognito as one of the dancers. So it just creates this really unique, this interesting image of a Elvis impersonator, falling in love with one of the dancers, kind of thing. It was pretty cool. It was different. I liked that part of it.
Yeah.
I mean, it was, gimmicky and totally ridiculous, but it was a nice way to end this kind of movie, I thought.
What's kind of funny about the way this movie ended is that in real life, Nicolas Cage actually went on to marry Lisa Marie Presley.
Oh, that's right.
Short
Yeah.
time, yeah.
Yeah, I've always had the thought that Nic Cage has this kind of Elvis fascination.
That's a fact. It's a confirmed fact.
Oh, is it? Yeah, I probably knew then. I just forgot. Yeah. Nic Cage has always had this Elvis fascination. And he got to live it in Honeymoon in Vegas. But that's it. It's kind of, it's a romantic comedy. It balances these silly kind of cartoonish moments with these more serious, uncomfortable ones. But I felt that a lot of the actors were solid, and for what it was trying to do, it's a good enough movie. I felt that it was, it accomplished what it set out to do. And what do you guys? Is there anything you guys want to add to the synopsis of the movie?
That he's a PI.
Yeah, he's a private eye, and that's one of the things about this movie is he doesn't want to get married because his clientele consists of people who are cheated on, married people in unhappy marriages who come to him to sniff out what their significant others is up to. And that's one of the arguments of this movie is marriage equals an unhappy life. And that's how, by the end of the movie, he has changed his mind, or I guess he's come to terms with his deceased mother's opinion.
Figured it out.
Yeah.
Always remember to have good words come out of your mouth.
So I wanted to ask you guys: has any of you ever been to Vegas?
No.
No, me neither.
I have not. I just read really sad news.
What did you read?
Chadwick Boseman actually just passed away. Black Panther.
Oh, what?
Apparently he had colon cancer.
No way.
Wow.
He was only 43.
Dude, that is bad news.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't even know. I didn't even know he had cancer.
Yeah.
Well, it's an unfortunate thing to discover while recording a comedy podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You fix it in post.
Oh, yeah, of course. Okay. Yeah, so what do we know about Honeymoon in Vegas? Was it a hit? Did people like it?
Kind of mixed.
Yeah. I just mean when it came out, especially.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
Most people. I looked at a few reviews earlier, and most people thought that it was trying to be really sad.
Oh, really?
Drama type of movie, like a over sappy in a way, almost like soap opera style.
Yeah.
But it should have been just a zany comedy.
I don't know. I felt like it was more zany than...
There are some reviews like that, though.
Okay.
Like Roger Ebert,
Yeah.
who said the plot is dumb enough to be a sitcom, but Bergman isn't dumb enough to make it one. Yeah.
So I guess that's kind of a compliment.
Sure, it's kind of like a backhanded one in a way, you know?
Right.
But, you know, it's not a bad review.
It's 63% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's terrible.
Right.
But in spite of that, this is one of those movies where Nicolas Cage is just in this spirit that I just started loving. He's just over the top. And
yeah, actually, it kind of reminded me of his role in Vampire's Kiss. The frantic, trying to find something. I guess just the frantic nature of the role. And also his makeup. There's a stark difference in his makeup between Honeymoon in Vegas and Amos and Andrew. Yeah, he's definitely a lot cleaner looking in this one.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I totally agree. There was something about the way he approached this role. And the funny thing is, too, I could have seen him in the other role, too. They would have had to rewrite some of it, but I could see him as Tommy Corman as well.
Yeah.
Wanting to play that role.
like a different face-off.
A different face-off?
Yeah, but he's just both of them.
Okay, I wasn't sure if that's what you meant.
Fellas.
Yeah,
It's called Face On.
Yeah.
Face on.
I want to keep my face on. I want to keep my face on.
Wow. Well, they have some serious technology in Vegas. You can get more than a facelift, apparently. You can get your face swapped. Or you can leave it on. The choice is yours. I feel like a lot of the issues in the movie, they would have been solved today if people just had cell phones. because that's
Yep.
that's the whole thing is he can't get in touch with his fiancée, and she can't get in contact with him after they've made this scary agreement. And it just wouldn't work today because of cell phones.
Just tweet at her.
Mm-hmm.
Just send her a TikTok.
Yeah, do it.
And like, also, why didn't you guys just run away? Get out of there.
Yeah, I think that's a possibility. But maybe it was smart that they didn't. Who knows? Who knows what Tommy would have done? It may have been a darker movie. There's a number of ways this movie could have gone dark. I'm glad it didn't. But in a real world situation, that was one kind of realization I had was with both of these movies. It kind of makes light of serious situations that actually happen.
Yeah.
That can happen.
I have one other interesting bit of trivia.
Well, let's hear it.
Do you remember the little kid Elvis that was singing?
I did, yeah. They did a lot of work plugging his voice in over that.
Yeah.
Didn't match.
Do you know who it was?
No, who was it?
Bruno Mars.
No kidding.
Yep. 7-year-old Bruno Mars.
No.
That's a great little piece of trivia. Yeah, I literally just watched that. I literally just watched this movie this morning. And I was pleasantly surprised. I didn't get bored, really, a couple times maybe in the second act, but I really thought that it flowed well. I was into Cage's character. I was into Sarah Jessica Parker's character. She is looking good in this movie, I have to admit. All of her outfits and everything are just very striking. And I felt like she played that role very well, too. It was so believable for someone to be in that situation. Maybe in context of the tone of the movie, you know what I mean? Maybe not necessarily today. Someone may not, you know what I mean? Like agreeing to go to Hawaii to be with this guy for a weekend or whatever. It's, I don't know if that's something that's totally believable, but she made it seem believable to me because the chemistry between she and Cage was done pretty well. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know.
It all knew, man.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Nick's performance. We'll talk about Nick's performance. I liked it. Pretty solid. There's some good kind of semi-Cage outs. There's a nice
It's almost
one.
as good as Family Man.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, I liked the one with Ben Stein in the airport terminal. It's pretty funny. He loses his shit. I love when Nic Cage takes Pat Morita, or Pat Morita, I don't remember exactly where they are. I think they're at the one dude, the crazy, like, hippie Hawaiian dude. They're at his place, and Nic Cage tells Pat Morita, who is the taxi driver, that he left something in there, and the taxi driver goes to retrieve it, and then Nic Cage steals the taxi.
I liked it too because when it got back to the hotel, the valets were just like, "Oh yeah, I'll park that for you." That'd be good.
Yeah. Whoa, nice taxi cab, bro. Yeah, we'll park it.
Yeah.
Nice. Mm-hmm. And I just liked the simple fact that this was, yes, it's a romantic comedy, but it's got that kind of adventurous touch to it because of all the changing of locations and just the big, all the sights and sounds of Vegas, of course, is a lot to take in. And I'm not into poker, but, to make a Vegas movie with gambling in it, it's for somebody not into poker to keep my attention, I think is something to be commended. And what did you guys think of Nick's performance?
Classic.
Yeah?
Worth it. It's maybe it's like once is enough, but it's worth your time.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, you sound great. You sound really great.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. Hey, Sean, what did you think of Honeymoon in Vegas? Not to put you
I
on
don't
the
know.
spot.
I mean, it was okay. I mean,
Sean,
it was.
Nic Cage was in it. Just want to remind you.
He had a couple. He had a couple okay Cage outs. I mean,
Yeah. Okay.
you know, but besides the you know, the rapey overtones,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I thought it was kind of just a, you know, kind of a shallow comedy.
Okay.
I don't know. I just felt there wasn't really a lot of creativity there. There just wasn't
Predictable?
really a lot to it. Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty predictable.
It kind of sounds like your opinion of Moonstruck. Would you say similar kind of reaction that you had?
I thought Moonstruck was a better film.
Okay.
This one kind of just seems like something you'd get in the dollar bin at Blockbuster.
I can
see
agree
that.
with that. It felt kind of like, at times, it felt like a TV movie to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
It kind of just felt like they were, you know, I mean, Cage and
Mm-hmm.
you know, Sarah Jessica Parker. They were both
Yeah.
pretty popular at the time.
Yeah. She must work out. I tell you what.
I'll tell you what.
The definition in her back, I thought was impressive. When she wore a couple of dresses that showed her back, I thought, wow, she's kind of ripped.
She's ripped in real
She
life.
gonna be She-Hulk.
God, that would be awesome. That would be so awesome. Steve, so I just
I'm
want to know.
not sure if it's the movie, but I think it might be. There's a movie called Indecent Proposal
That sounds
with
familiar.
Robert Redford, Demi Moore, Woody
Mm.
Harrelson. I think that might be the one I'm thinking of. And it was 1993.
I don't know.
And but the script or the synopsis sounds like almost identical, with the exception of he's a real estate broker
Okay.
and building their dream house,
Mm-hmm.
and then the recession hits, so they go to Vegas to try to make the money back, and he ends up losing it all, and basically offers up his wife for a night.
Man, what a gentleman.
I mean, if
Yeah.
if anyone says that you wouldn't do that with your wife, then you're lying.
Because you haven't been there. You haven't been to Vegas and lost.
You don't know what it's like.
No, you don't. It's not your place to judge, guys. I did want to know, Steve, was because I know, Steve, you go there to Vegas once in a while hunting people. You try to snare them to come up in the hotel room and stuff. Was it pretty realistic? A realistic portrayal? Was it lifelike in terms of the kind of tricks that you use to get people up into your hotel room?
Yeah, usually whenever I get there and they don't have my room set up for me, I usually just grab the first person that I can by the dick, and usually I get whatever I want from there.
I know. I just really want to go so I can collect those hooker cards that they pass out.
Dude, I'm sorry, Sean, for not reacting to what you just said, because I'm thinking of what Steve just said. I said earlier, there's some moments where you start to empathize with the card shark character. At least I did. And then it's like, I totally forgot he grabbed that guy's junk. How can you think that this is a good guy at all?
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Right from the get-go, you get the movie tells you that this dude is a bad dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. makes you wonder what his backstory is, how he got to be where he is, and I mean he can pick
because
up.
his kids seem relatively like they don't have any idea that he's a shark or whatever.
Man, people like that in real life are incredibly frightening.
Yeah,
Truly.
Oh man. So Steve, what did you think of the film? Final thoughts.
like I said, it was just for me, the script, it just seems like the same rom-com script that's been used in every other movie for the past 40 years. Now to find out that there was another movie at the same time that's damn near identical to it, with the exception of not being Nic Cage.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there was some good bits here and there. It was worth a watch. It wasn't Cotton Club by any means.
Is there no news on Cotton Club? We should look that up for the next episode because they just released like a new restored version of Cotton Club that Coppola has been working on forever. But sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
I'm sure Mima would love it.
I should buy it for her when it comes out.
My final note when the movie was over was just meh.
Yeah.
It was, there was nothing truly exciting for me.
Okay. All right. Well, with that, any other final thoughts? Because I'm going straight through to the next movie. If not. Okay. The other wonderful Nicolas Cage movie we watched was the 1993 American buddy action comedy film, Amos and Andrew. Yeah, that was can you believe that's a genre? Buddy action comedy? I mean, I believe it in Netflix because they have a genre for everything. But,
yeah, that would be like Shanghai Noon, right?
Yeah, Rush Hour, Shanghai Noon. Yeah, that was kind of like the
Passion of the Christ 2, Crucify This.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've never heard of that one, but I liked the first one, so I probably watched that one too.
Straight to Amazon.
Yeah. Very good. Well, if we're going to talk about this one, then we might as well get into the Nick List. Nic Cage opens this movie doing a handstand in a jail cell. Awesome. I love seeing Nic Cage doing handstands. Why didn't we get that in Color Out of Space, you bastards? Nic Cage is in jail for contributing to the delinquency of a minor. Uh-oh. Nic Cage takes Samuel L. Jackson hostage, mostly by accident. In return for Sammy L's life, he requests a helicopter and $1 million, the two best prizes in the McDonald's Monopoly game. Nic Cage smokes a joint and complains to Mr. Jackson his old man never let him have sea monkeys. It's his metaphor for the family he could never have. I just thought that was funny. While holding 3 people captive in a home, Nic Cage orders a pizza so that he can seduce the blonde 17-year-old delivery driver and convince her to take his videotape to the press. Nic Cage tells Samuel L. Jackson he's the whitest damn black man he's ever met. That earns him a punch in the face, motherfucker. Nic Cage drops off Samuel L. Jackson in Boston to meet up with his wife, who is not white. Wink, wink. Then he drives off into the horizon, slamming to some Sir Mix-a-Lot. That was awesome. The ending?
Truly.
Amos and Andrew, also Get Out 2, the prequel to Get Out. There was a lot of Get Out in this movie. Did you guys see Get Out?
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah. Some, it's interesting how timely the themes in this movie are to today. Because this is a movie that deals with racial prejudice. That's kind of it. It's about racism.
Police brutality as well.
What's that?
Police brutality.
Oh yeah, police brutality.
That's like, that scene where they just like he's like, let me just turn off my alarm. I can't hear you, and he just like points his key at the car, and then they all unload on him.
Yeah, Yeah.
Andrew Sterling has always dreamed of leaving the big city and escaping to a secluded island. No stress, no hassles, no problems. That is, until he met another man trying to escape.
I know you're in here.
Andrew meets Amos.
I have a shotgun. You have a frying pan.
And in one wild night,
I want $1 million and a helicopter.
Put your weapon down. Let your hostage go.
two guys from two different worlds.
Maybe you've heard of the Pulitzer Prize. You won that? I did. How much you win?
In one fell swoop, became partners in crime.
We're gangsters.
Freeze!
We're outlaws.
Sounded like they were getting pretty chummy to me.
Two people who came to an island for one reason.
Get in!
To escape.
Sit!
Not you.
Nicolas Cage.
Contributing to the delinquency of a minor. What do you have to say about that?
She looked 18.
Samuel L. Jackson. Amos and Andrew. A comedy about two mismatched men trying to escape from each other.
I honestly believe that the setup to this movie is one of the funniest things I've seen. I thought it was absolutely hilarious because basically what it is Samuel L. Jackson plays this successful, relatively famous Pulitzer Prize winning playwright. He's a PhD professor who has bought this summer home on this island in Massachusetts. And he's in the house. He's in his new house, just, rearranging it, putting his stuff away. And the neighbors come over. I guess they don't know what's happening, that the previous tenants have moved out. And they see this strange black man in the house. Of course, they're white. And they automatically assume that it's a home invader. Which, side note, I think it's interesting. We say home invader now, and we don't use the word burglar anymore, right? Isn't that interesting? I don't hear burglar often. But yeah, they call the police, and we get, oh my God, the dumbest police officers in the world show up to handle this situation, including what's his name? The guy who plays Donnie. I recognize his face. He's what's his name in Lord of the Rings? Oh, Worm Tongue. I think that's his name. Yeah, I just totally recognized him. But Donnie is this dumbass cop who he puts dirt on his face because they're going in on a night ops, and he tries to be Rambo. He tries to sneak into the house, and he inadvertently sets off the guy's car alarm. Samuel L. Jackson's car alarm goes off, and so of course he comes out to deactivate it. But when he comes out, he sees this cop pointing a gun at him, and it's dark, and he's behind a car, so he's not sure. He doesn't know it's a cop, but he raises the car alarm to turn off the alarm, and the cops think it's a gun, so they just start blasting at him. And it's just this whole movie is built on miscommunication, misunderstandings. Yeah, it's just a really funny setup. The next part is this bumbling, idiotic police chief he's running for mayor, I believe. He wants to get reelected, so that's his primary.
Like he's the sheriff, right? He's the sheriff of the island or something. He's up for reelection for sheriff.
Oh, is that it? I thought it was for.
I think so.
Okay. Well. Yeah, and that's his main motivation. No matter what happens in this movie, that's his primary goal is to win.
Chief Mario.
Yeah, and that guy was genuinely funny. The physical comedy and the writing of his character. Yeah, I enjoyed that. But he soon finds out. Samuel L. Jackson does he call the police and says that somebody's breaking into his house?
No, because he doesn't have cell phone service, or he doesn't have phone service. I think they somehow get a hold of him.
Okay. Yeah.
Like they get service into the house and they call because they think that the kids are still in the house, like the white couple that used to live there.
Right. They believe because of this couple, the lawyer and his hot wife who...
Yeah, the white power privilege couple.
Yeah. Yeah. They
pointing their guns at protesters.
Say that they say that this guy has hostages. So that's why they decide to do this night ops thing. And eventually though, the police chief, he realizes who is in the house. And it's not just an innocent black man. It is a famous Pulitzer Prize winning black man, which is going to damage his reputation. So that's kind of the setup then is Nic Cage plays this criminal who's been in jail for some time. And
Gold Tooth Nick.
Gold Tooth Nick. Yeah, I love that gold tooth. And you know that gold tooth was his decision.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, give me a gold tooth. Man, he looked like shit in this movie for some reason.
Because he probably did it himself.
Yeah, so he strikes a deal with the sheriff that he's basically going to become the home invader, that doesn't exist. And he's going to get arrested and take the blame for it. And if all goes well, they're going to deliver him to Canada and he could be free. That's what he wanted anyway, right? Isn't that where he got arrested on his way to Canada?
Yeah, at least he thought he was on his way to Canada.
Right. He's a dumbass, and it's just it's meant to illustrate that you have. Yeah, I mean, you get it, right? You have the black guy who is an intellectual, very rich, successful, and still his life is in so much more danger than the freaking criminal who is the white guy, who is an idiot. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were really, I feel like I understood that.
I was a big fan of the pre-Lakeview Terrace Samuel L. in this movie.
Yeah. Yeah, and also the pre-Bad Lieutenant Nic Cage, maybe?
Yeah.
No, that's not this one. That's not, that was Honeymoon in Vegas is when I had that thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's when his fiance left.
I had a similar thought.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, this is 100%. This is pre-Lakeview Terrace Samuel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was surprised at how mild-mannered he was compared to most of the movies I've seen him in.
Right. Yeah, he is. He is fairly mild-mannered. He does get fired up a couple times because, his life is in danger. And they kind of strike up this, would you call it a friendship?
I would call it a buddy action.
Yeah, a buddy action movie relationship. Yeah, I guess. But the rest of this movie, though, what disappointed me was most of it's in the house. And then they go to the neighbor's house, and because Nicolas Cage's character, Amos, he's Amos Odell. He decides to play the part because he realizes that he's in the news and he's been betrayed by the chief. So, he knows he's not going to get what he wants, so he kind of becomes that character, and a whole lot of things happen in the kerfuffle. But they go to the neighbor's house with the lawyer guy and the wife, and they become the new hostages as well. And I thought it was funny, the part where earlier when they go to the house, they find the sex toys upstairs in the bedroom. Mm-hmm. And Samuel L. Jackson has that line. He's like, white people. And that was funny alone. But then later, when the couple comes home, they tie him up with the sex toys, which was, gimmicky. There's a lot of gags in this one, but some of them work.
Was it just me, or was one of the cops at one point wearing blackface?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Donnie.
Donnie.
Oh yeah, and
it's because it's a night op. You gotta.
It's a
night op.
And that's kind of funny when they, the other police, come and infiltrate the house, and they find him in there because he went in there alone to try to save the chief who'd been knocked out with the frying pan. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the rest of the movie, though, I don't know what else there is to say about it.
Oh, man, there's tons.
Yeah, they plan to get it. Well, then tell me, Steve.
Well, no, I mean, I love, like, with, like, the, when the sheriff starts realizing that he made a mistake, right? He goes and he takes the tape back from him and goes, I need the tape from the reporter. That was it was like a local freelance reporter.
Yeah.
It was kind of like covering the story.
Mm-hmm.
And what did he say?
The reporter says, "What about the First Amendment?"
Fuck the First Amendment.
Yeah, that's
right.
One of my favorite parts.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really funny. I was loving the movie at that point, but I felt it started to lose its fire when after that. Actually, it started to lose its fire for me when Nic Cage's character became more of a central focus. To be honest,
really.
Yeah. I almost feel like Samuel Jackson's character was like by far the pinnacle. I mean, Cage kind of seemed like he was a secondary character.
He just had so many moments though throughout the whole thing. I mean, Toby from The Office, the negotiator.
Oh yeah, that character.
Yeah.
Well, but remind me though, what does he say to Nick?
He only talks to Nick for like a really short period of time. After that, he just sits curled up in the car, just talking to himself.
Yeah. He thinks he's talking to Nick, but the radio is actually in the room with the police chief who's tied up, listening to this monologue about this guy's life and his issues that he's dealt with. Yeah. That was funny. I liked that funny stuff. But I just felt like the balance was a little off with the gags and then the, more serious racial messaging in it.
But I think that's what made it interesting is that like throughout the whole movie, like there's this obvious and like serious undertone of the racial injustice and they keep bringing that back up, but the whole time Nick is just kind of like, dude, this is how things are. Like, stop acting like it's supposed to be different. This is how things are. Like, stand up and actually face it. Stop, pretending like because you have money that you're above any of this shit.
Yeah.
Like,
right. He also tells him that he's a black man trying to be white, the whitest black man he's ever met.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he
which I think is the whole point that Nick's like pushing through that the whole movie.
Mm-hmm. But I also think it's kind of unfair because Samuel L. Jackson is saying, "But you don't know me. You really don't know me."
No.
Because remember that he talks about his wife. He says you're probably married to a white woman, and in the end, you find out it's not true.
Yeah.
So.
Until he moves to Lakeview Terrace.
Yeah. So one of the overarching themes is what is the word I'm looking for? Misinterpretation, stereotyping from all levels. All these characters are stereotyping each other, and are somewhat stereotyped the way they're written. So Nic Cage's character, Amos, he's kind of a shitty guy. He's a criminal who likes young girls. And there's probably not a whole lot of morality in there, but he accepts it. He doesn't put on any airs about it. And then Samuel L. Jackson is a successful black man who it appears like he's intentionally designed his life to fit within the quote-unquote white man's world.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of discussion there. That's why I say it reminded me of Get Out. I wouldn't be surprised if Key and Peele, was it Jordan Peele? I think Jordan Peele wrote Get Out.
That is true.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they got some inspiration from this story. But let's see. How does it all pan out? The MacGuffin of the movie, you see, is this tape that those freelance newscasters make of the couple mentioned before, the Gilmans, where they talk about how there's this black guy in this house and he's a burglar, and saying not so nice things when later it's discovered that it's actually his house. So this tape then will undo the false reality that the police chief is trying to create in order to save his ass.
Mm-hmm.
And Nic Cage happens to get the tape and then gives it to the pizza girl and asks her to deliver it to the press. So of course she delivers it right back to the freelancers, and so that the real story can come out. And in the midst of all this happening, there's this big mob. I mean, I say mob intentionally because that's how they're portrayed. You know, they have torches, and they're, you know what I mean? It's funny because it's a black mob, but they have this kind of Martin Luther King-esque leader, but the way they're marching actually kind of looks like the KKK or something. Did you catch that? Do you agree with that or not? Maybe you don't, but I felt like that was intentional.
It's Antifa.
It's Antifa. Yeah. Right. It's a terrorist organization. And it's funny too because the guy, their leader, hates the liberals that live there.
Yeah.
He goes on and on about the liberals on the island. I told you about those liberals. But I think it was intentional for them to kind of look like the KKK with these torches, and we're not going to stand it, and we want Andrew. And in that whole scene, they accidentally burn his house down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, and Samuel L. Jackson, he's freaking running from bloodhounds that are after him, and then discovers his friggin' house is burned down. So what does he have left to do? He escapes with Amos. And they leave the island. And Amos meets up with his wife. I'm sorry, Andrew meets up with his wife, and Amos then continues on. Drives away. He goes on to Canada, which was what he wanted. And then,
except that he was headed the wrong direction.
And then, he turns and goes in the other direction, which I don't understand the point of that. But
well, because that was a recurring theme as well, that he's just got really bad sense of direction.
Oh, that's why. Thank you, Steve. Yeah, I didn't catch on to that. Okay, because
that's why they kept getting lost and stuck in different houses, because he didn't really know what was going on at any point.
Oh yeah, because he's a dumbass. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. I was listening to the song at the end of the movie. That's where my mind was.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out who was rapping in it. I had to look it up. It was Sir Mix-a-Lot.
I was recording so Ken watched most of that movie with me, and I was recording because as soon as the rap part started coming on, he started dancing to the beat.
Nice. Yeah. Nice. Yeah. Amos and Andrew. Can I just say, I thought this was, I didn't know anything about it. I knew Nic Cage and Samuel L. Jackson were in it. That's it. And I actually thought it was a buddy cop movie. I thought the two of them were going to be cops. So it was kind of a nice surprise for me to find out that it wasn't that at all. In fact, it was kind of a anti-cop in a way, or making fun of police.
Fuck the police.
So I'm going to say one thing that I think I'm not entirely certain that this movie was really, really supposed to be progressive. This is the movie that even the title, even the characters, Amos and Andrew.
Yeah.
So from the 1920s to the 1960s, there was a really popular radio series called Amos and Andy.
Yeah.
That was attacked by the NAACP, a bunch of other things about racist caricatures in the black community. Before it was finally taken down,
Okay.
and so that's where the name came from. That's why Sammy tells him like, never call us Amos and Andrew.
Oh yeah.
It's because of the reference back to that Amos and Andy series. So all the way up to like the title of the show, everything is really just supposed to be strongly portraying the racial injustice, and the marches are supposed to be exactly that, of just failed attempts. As soon as something happens, it's jump in there, do something, but not really knowing what they're doing.
What about the part where Cage hits on some girl and then finds out that she's 17 and then continues to hit on her?
Well, that's why he's in jail.
The idea is really to prove to further the point that race doesn't have anything to do with being a criminal, being a bad person.
Right.
That even though Nick is doing the right thing, he's still a fucking criminal. He's still a fucking creep.
Yeah. Right.
But nobody looks down on him because of it, because he's white.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Did you notice the cameo from Jeffrey Epstein in the?
No. Please tell me. You're gonna start
Gotta find it. Gotta find it for yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He was a assistant executive producer. Was that his island? He probably owned the island where it was filmed.
We'll never know.
Hey, Steve, I skipped your character comparisons. Do you want to get that in now?
I pretty much got them all in the midst of everything else.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't really have any good characters. Just had, Gold Tooth Nick, the pre-Lakeview Terrace Samuel.
Yeah.
White power privileged couple. Your
Gotcha.
Toby from The Office negotiator, and the police chief, Mario Groucho Marx.
Super Mario Groucho Marx guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The reason why Samuel was so tame in this movie was because it was before he started watching hentai.
Is that true, Sean?
So, in a video from Wired.com, Samuel L. Jackson answers some of the most popular Google results about himself. And one of them is, does Samuel L. Jackson like anime? And his quote is, yes, I do. Hentai too.
Does Samuel L. Jackson like anime? Yes, I do. Hentai too.
Oh, jeez.
He said that?
Yep. That is the exact quote.
That's awesome. That is funny.
I can't confirm this, but I think that whole thing started from there was some video where he was doing like a screen share or something, and supposedly like one of his tabs on his computer was of hentai.
Well, this is the internet, Sean, so if we want it to be true, we can make it true.
It's already true.
It's already true. Yeah. Good. So tell me what you guys thought of Amos and Andrew. Tell me.
It was entertaining.
Mm-hmm. You would.
I mean, I really didn't think that either of these movies were very substantial. I mean, neither of them are gonna win an Academy Award or anything, but I mean, I thought, out of the two, I thought this one had the more interesting premise and was just funnier overall.
Yeah. What about you, Matt? What did you think? Oh, shit. Steve, what's your opinion?
Honestly, I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I figured you would.
Yeah, it's probably. I think I've enjoyed that movie more than most of the rest we've watched lately.
Yeah, I'll say it was a pleasant surprise compared to the more recent movies we've seen.
Yeah. I feel like this is the movie that I've been waiting for. This is what I wanted Time to Kill to be, honestly.
Yeah.
Like I was really, when I watched Time to Kill, I had this vision of what I wanted it to be.
Yeah.
And after talking to you guys, realized that it was really just me trying to force it into that movie. That I wanted something that was like ridiculous but progressive and like trying to take some of the real issues that people are dealing with and putting them in a way that people can kind of digest them and understand them. And I wanted that to be Time to Kill, and it very clearly was not. But I think they really did it well in this. I think it took a comical, stupid kind of approach, but pointed out some real issues and in a way that wasn't too difficult to digest.
What did you think specifically? Go ahead, Sean.
With that being said, we'd like to announce Steve is going to be donating $10,000 to the NAACP.
Great. Steve, I'm so proud of you.
Yeah.
Great. I guess we're really going to need sponsors now for Steve.
That's right.
So, Steve, you really enjoyed it. What did you think about Nick's performance specifically? His character, his approach to the character?
Listen, I think that he played a good partnership with Samuel in this, because he was supposed to be the counterbalance to the stereotypes that are commonly associated with blacks of being criminals, of being, just all around bad. And so really kind of brought to life a lot of the things that I think his character is supposed to do. The dumbass thing I think is really just Nick being an actor. And I think that was kind of his role in it, of just act like an idiot. But I think from the script standpoint, it was very much supposed to be, to be somewhat lecherous, to be somewhat cunning and conniving. But I think the way that Nick took it to be more of a dumbass and to jump into some of the other things, and the nonstop fucking grins, I think he did a good job of just taking it to. He reminds me of every street criminal that I've ever known.
Have you known a lot of street criminals?
A handful.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know any true bad guys, but I know plenty of people that are just street criminals, people that are
petty crimes,
liquors, and petty crimes kind of thing. And I think that he embodies a petty criminal really well.
All right.
I think he overplayed the dumbass thing just a little bit, but for a comical standpoint, it was good.
Cool. Did I already share my thoughts? I think in the future what we should do is, for the final thoughts, we should just mix that in with the round table, because we're going to talk about Nic Cage's, what we think of the movie and Nic Cage's role in it anyway. So let me know if you think that's a good idea or not later. If you want. But let's just start the round table then, because I feel like I already have a sense of the movies that you guys chose. And unfortunately, Matt isn't here now, so this might be interesting. But I'm going with Honeymoon in Vegas, guys. Does that piss you off?
A little bit.
No.
No? Oh, that's too bad.
I mean, I guess you're just racist.
Yeah. Probably. Probably. No, I mean,
Why?
I liked what they were going for in Amos and Andrew, and I watched that one first. First act of that movie is absolutely hilarious. I couldn't believe how timely it was, as I said before, with the whole racial part of it and the police brutality, and using comedy to kind of satirize that reality. I did like it. I just felt like when Nick's character came to be more of the focus, that it just lost some of its steam, and some of the gags really stopped working for me, and I got bored a little bit, and I just felt like it dragged. And then the ending didn't go in the direction that I had hoped it would go, which is where I thought that these two were going to meet up and then go set off on some kind of adventure, buddy guys out on the road. Who knows what they get into? The cops are chasing them from locale to locale. And yeah, it was just, I do think it's a good movie. I do recommend it. I don't think that either of these movies, like you said, Sean, is one of Nic Cage's finest. And they're not among the best. But they are this one is something different, totally different than we've seen. And Samuel L. Jackson was great. He played that role excellently. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is, because a lot of it's just in the dark house, and it just stopped being that funny to me.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
But why?
But why Vegas?
But why Vegas?
I was just more. I liked the faster pace. I liked the romantic aspect of it. I just felt like I really wanted to save Sarah Jessica Parker too. I didn't want her to get raped by that guy.
You wanted her to get raped by Cage?
Yeah, I didn't say that either. But,
I think that's one of the things I was a little disappointed with when it came to Honeymoon in Vegas. Is there was no exposure.
Okay.
And there was no forced sex.
Oh well, then yeah, you would be disappointed. There was.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We've set a pretty strong precedent for both of those things to be in any sort of a romance movie. And
yeah,
I wasn't feeling, I felt like the romance was faked because it wasn't there.
Right. But this was more of,
I'm pretty sure we summed it up at the end of the last episode.
This was PG-13, Steve.
Yeah, but if she doesn't want it, do it anyways.
Yeah.
And if she still doesn't listen, kill her.
Again, that's why I thought Nick would have wanted to be the Tommy character. The other character.
That's probably what they probably shot the entire movie that way, and they couldn't get him to stop trying to rape her, so they had to reverse the roles.
Right on. Yeah. I can't say that it's a better movie. I can't. I can just say that it kept my attention better. I liked how fast it was moving, and the frenetic energy that Nic Cage brought to that role compared to his one in the other one, where I felt like he was just kind of there. And in this one, he's really, really desperately after something. And I like seeing him like that in those kinds of roles. And then the ending is silly. I admit, a lot of things in this movie are silly. But I don't know. It worked. I felt like that's probably how this movie started, is somebody watched one of these Elvis parachuting events and thought, what would make a good story if one of these Elvish if one of these Elvis paratroopers, landed and fell in love with one of these dancers. Let's make a romance out of that. And, we got Honeymoon in Vegas. Yeah. I don't really have a great argument, but that's all I got. They're both, if I really had to choose one, I would have to kind of struggle which one to watch, because they're kind of on the same wavelength of quality for me. But I'm really going just mainly off of my overall enjoyment, and then Nic Cage's range But there are things in Amos and Andrew that I liked more, for sure. I mean, I really thought that the setup in that movie is one of the funniest things I've seen in a long time. But we're not going to know. Who knows? Is it going to be a tie? Am I going to get beat here? We don't know.
I mean, I've already made it pretty clear on my side. I'm definitely on the Amos and Andrew side.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I guess if I got to give in, I will. But for now, I can't really say there's a winner, right? Should I just say there's a winner?
I don't know, Sean?
Yeah, what do you think, Sean?
Reese, your argument kind of swayed me a little bit.
Oh, boy. Then we have to have Matt.
Right now. No, let's just end this right now.
No, I thought you made some really good points that, technically, I think that Honeymoon in Vegas might have been the better film. Mm-hmm. Because I did feel that, like Amos and Andrew kind of loses steam halfway through,
mm-hmm.
before the movie even really gets started.
Yeah, that's how I
mean,
feel.
really, the pacing is just kind of off.
I don't know, man. Think about it. Think carefully, because Steve may not appreciate that. He may get really pissed off.
Motherfucker.
And start throwing stuff. Steve is very prone to cage outs.
Yeah.
What is the policy for if we have a tie?
Fuck the First Amendment.
Yeah. I'm just honestly, if I don't know. We'll just have to have an extended discussion. If it's 2-on-2, I think we just should talk about it and choose one. And I'm willing to give up Honeymoon in Vegas because, like, seriously, look at it. Neither of these films is going to be a winner in the end. Right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's kind of just like the baby awards we're giving out right here. So if I have to say Amos and Andrew, that's fine with me. In fact, maybe I should, as kind of a middle finger to Matt, who fell asleep, and yeah, now we'll never know what his pick was. I feel sorry for the Honeymoon in Vegas people out there, like me, who they'll have no chance now for their movie to go up in the finals. But we can blame Matt. You just want to do that? We'll make it Amos and Andrew. Or is it Amos and Andy or Andrew? It is Andrew.
Andrew.
Why do I want to say Andy? Andy Dick?
Andy. Amos and Andy is the radio show.
That's why. Thank you.
Named after.
Yeah, let's just go with it. And then if people get upset, then we'll blame Matt. And Matt he'll just take the heat on this.
Yeah, you fucked up.
You're done clucked up.
All right, I'm fine with it. Amos and Andrew is going to be our winner. Wasn't what I chose, but I'm going to save my punches for the finale. So let's just call it a day. Amos and Andrew is our winner. Congratulations, great job, Samuel L. Jackson. You beat the shit out of Sarah Jessica Parker. Great. She will have no chance now.
With a giant anime tentacle.
Yep. Yeah, and thanks for that, Matt. Yeah. Hope he's all right. We should actually probably try to get in touch with him after this. But yeah, what's coming up next then? It's going to be our cage fight. We may have a preliminary broadcasted discussion where we choose what movies are actually going to be in the finals, because it's unrealistic, I think, for us all to represent all of them, equally. So, yeah, stay in touch with us for more updates on that. You'll find updates on our Facebook, also our website, nickcagefight.com. And our podcast is everywhere. Everywhere podcasts are permitted. Spotify, Apple, it's called Apple Podcasts now, I think. Yeah, we're everywhere. So keep listening and definitely stay tuned for the season finale Cage Fight. This is going to be the big one. We're going to have our next birdie by the end of the next official late night Cage Fight episode. So I thank you guys for joining me. It was a great discussion once again. We thank Nicolas Cage for all the wonderful work he's done over the years and looking forward to more, especially the unbearable weight of, what is it? Inoperable talent? Insufferable talent? It's some adjective I can never remember.
Malignant talent.
Right. Yeah. I just remember the first part of that. So, but I'm still totally pumped. Still going to buy the t-shirt. Yeah. So thank you guys. Hope you had fun. I had fun.
I had fun.
Yeah.
All right. Take it easy. Till next time. I'm out.
Keep it sleazy.